So here with Heather and Julia and Richie at the Alberta Centre for Global Cooperation, where they have been taking care of one of my little Bokashi systems in the office environment. There's a few other people who aren't here today. Richie's very excited. He washed a spoon. It was pretty cool. And these ladies have been here doing this for quite a while. So, Heather, you'd mentioned it's fit in pretty well around the office.
Yeah, we've liked it quite a lot. It's been, I think it's the right size for our office, and it seems to work quite well. I think maybe it's a little bit slower to get going because we don't have a ton of food that goes in because we are an office environment. So it's lunches and snacks that we have that we're putting through the composter. But I think it's been a great system. It's easy to maintain. It's easy to use. There's not a lot of smell. There's not a ton of upkeep or care. We've enjoyed having it. I'd love to have one at home.
Cool. Julia, what have your impressions been? Did you have any ideas before you started helping me out with all of this, and if anything sort of met up with any expectations you might have had? Or
well, I feel good about using it. I feel like we're doing environmentally friendly work at the office along with recycling. I think the hardest part about it, it's really easy to use, but the hardest part about it is remembering to cut up all the items.
Small enough
to put into the
yeah, don't put in the whole banana peel kind of thing.
Yeah,
that's great.
But I think that's something you can get used to.
Oh yeah, just like sorting your recyclables.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Richie, what were your initial impressions of the little box in the corner?
Well, it makes you conscious of what you're throwing out, I suppose.
Yeah?
I was just confused by it for a long time. I think every time I've used it, I've asked you if I can put this in there.
And what has the response been? Pretty much every
Look in
time?
the fridge, or
There's a chart on the
I
fridge?
think so.
Yeah.
Or better be safe and throw it in the garbage, but it's a learning experience.
Yeah.
And
Oh, the general response is normally, yeah, you can put it in there. You can put anything in there. So, yeah, you mostly fruits and vegetables, things like that. You've had no problems with the office. What do you do with the juice?
Well, Rose, one of our staff people, has been taking most of the juice home. I've taken some home as well. It was a little harder to think of ways to get rid of it during the winter. Now we're sort of fighting over it because everybody has their gardens up and wants to water their plants outside.
Mm-hmm.
During the winter, there's more juice that comes out than the house plants require.
Yeah.
But with a staff of 6, it was certainly not a problem to get rid of the juice. The compost itself, when we filled up the composter and we had to sort of empty it and start the next batch, I took it home and I put it in my composting at home, and I dug it under, and it seems to have been just fine. There was no smell, there was no sort of ill effects with that.
Cool. And you have a couple of puppies that come along. This is Callie having a little nap. And Julia, what sort of level of interest have the dogs shown in the bucket in the corner?
They show interest when we keep all of our food in the bucket up top during the day, and then we empty it once at the end of the day, so we're not constantly opening it throughout. They show interest in that when there's food in it, and also when we're draining it for tea, they go by, but they leave it alone.
They leave it alone. That's good. Yeah, the tea has a bit of an aroma when it comes out. It does.
Interesting aroma.
Interesting aroma. How would you describe the overall smells coming out of the bucket when you open it up in the tea? If you had to sort of say what they sort of similar smell like.
Well, it smells like the Bokashi, and it's not a horrible smell. It's a healthy fermenting smell.
Fermenting smell.
Good things are happening.
Good things are.
The bucket. Yeah.
And have you found that it looks particularly interesting in there? Have you had any interesting observations?
I mean, we go in and we stir it and we comment on it, and it's, Julie and I will look in and peer in. Is this doing what it's supposed to be doing? It looks good to me. Is there green mold? No. Is there white mold? Yeah. Oh, well, that's okay.
We cheer when there's white mold.
You cheer when there's white mold. Yes.
Certainly, the tea is not very offensive. Looking in any way, and even the Bokashi, even the compost in the compost container is fine.
Cool.
Yeah.
So as far as throwing this into an office type environment, no different than like complexity-wise, and as far as you can adopt it into an office environment, no different than sorting your papers for recycling
No,
kind of thing?
absolutely no different. And not only that, I would think that one of the strengths of it is that it doesn't smell. Like when it's sealed up and it's all in the corner, you don't even know it's there. It doesn't smell. There's no odor associated with it. And in the summertime or hot days around here, by the end of the week, we only empty our garbage once a week. And if we were putting that in our garbage in the previous years, the garbage starts to
smell.
be a little bit.
So this actually
it's actually
better than
garbage.
doing nothing.
Mhm.
Oh, that's nice
And
to
then you
know.
have such an empty garbage at the end of the week. It's
Yeah.
really nice.
There's
Hey, found
very
it cuts
little-
down on your volume of trash.
Oh, tons.
Mm.
With between our recycling and our composting, there's very little trash that we have to worry about.
Oh, great. Richie Rich,
Yes.
how do you feel about working in an office with such socially responsible, eco-minded people?
I sleep like a baby every night. And, yeah. It's our office's version of the water cooler, I'd say.
Oh,
It's a
yes.
conversation- It's a conversation starter. And,
Hanging out around the
Yeah.
Bokashi.
yes.
That's great. All
It
right.
is good. Like I think it's really nice that because it sort of mirrors some of the other work we do,
Yeah.
some of our other social justice work we do, and this is kind of keys right into that.
Completes it.
It completes it. Okay, cool. Well, thank you guys very much for helping me out with this
Thank
experiment.
you.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I actually
Kelly.
saw them at Birth General Store. Did you or brother get one?
Yeah. Oh, so you got other people getting it, and you got to pick up some more brand out of the Earth General store too, eh?
Yeah.
Cool.